Hey guys, it's Addie from Tasty Tidbits, and today, as promised, I'm going to be showing y'all my chili recipe and my jalapeno cheddar cornbread recipe as well. We're going to start off in the crock pot today. If you don't have a crock pot, I definitely recommend that you get one. If you're going out to buy one anyway, I love that this one has the selection panel here on the front. It lets you select if you want to cook for 8 to 10 hours on low, or if you want to do 4 to 6 hours on high. And when the cook cycle is completed, it automatically kicks it to the keep warm cycle. So you don't even have to worry about it while you're at work. It does all the work for you, and you don't have to worry about the food getting overcooked and all of that. This recipe can be done in the crock pot like we're going to do today, or you can do it on the stovetop. It makes no difference whichever way you want to do it. It's just a little bit less cook time if you do it on the stovetop. So I've got my crock pot lined with a liner. If you haven't used these before, you will love them. They're amazing. It's when you're done, you pull the liner out, toss it in the trash, and you just wipe your crock pot down and it's done. You don't have to let it soak and scrub and scrub and scrub. So this is a great thing too. Alright, so the neat thing about this chili recipe is that we're actually going to use ground beef and stew beef. And it gives it just some different texture than what you're probably used to in a regular chili. It's a real man pleaser with the bits of meat in there. I know my brother-in-law has said it's like little nuggets of deliciousness or something. They love it. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. And right here I've got ground beef that I actually went ahead and browned and drained. That's why I've got the paper towel, because it's draining in here. And I did that because I had ground beef that was like 85-15, so I knew it was going to be greasy. If you're trying to do this like in the morning before you leave for work, this would be a good recipe to use a really low fat content ground beef like 93.7, or this is a great place that you can use ground turkey, because there's virtually no fat in there, and that gives you that healthier alternative. So anyway, you can do either of those, but if you're going to use the low fat or the turkey, just crumble it up in here. You don't have to do the browning process. I just did that to remove the grease that was in there because I didn't want a bunch of grease in my chili. Alright, so now I've got my stew beef, and this is what that looks like. I did a pound of ground beef, and there's also a pound of the stew beef here. And I've gone ahead and just chopped the pieces up into smaller little pieces. This is like what it looks like when you get it at the store, and it's trimmed, the fat's gone. So like this piece I'll cut into quarters. So now I'm just going to add my stew beef in here. Alright, and I've also got about one medium onion that I've just chopped up. You can do as little or as much onion as you like. We really like onions in this house, so that's what I did today. And I've also got 2 cloves of garlic that I minced up in here. And normally I would put a jalapeno that I had seeded and minced in with this, but I forgot to get one at the store. So I don't live in town, and I wasn't going all the way back to the store for one jalapeno, so I'll just add a little cayenne pepper when I'm doing the cooking. But anyway, that's what I normally do, and it's really good that way. Okay, so to this, I'm going to add, I've got 2 cans of the diced, zesty, chili-style tomatoes. They've just already got some seasoning in there. They're really good for this. I'm going to put 2 cans in. And I've also got a can of ranch style beans. I got the ones that have the sliced jalapenos in here. It just gives it a little more kick, and now I'm really glad that I got this since I forgot the jalapeno at the store. But I just drained the bulk of the liquid off. I did not rinse these because that sauce in there, it gives it a really good flavor, so don't rinse those. But here I've got some dark kidney beans. We're bean lovers here, so you can do beans if you want. You don't have to. It's whatever you want to do. But I like the mixture for this. These are dark red kidney beans. I did rinse these because they have that thick, strange liquid. We're never really sure what that is. So anyway, I'm gonna put that in, and now we are gonna get to the spices. So in my chili, I always use chili powder and taco seasoning. There's something in the taco seasoning, it's just, I like it a lot this way, so I always mix the two. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 1 package of the chili powder and 1 package of the taco seasoning. Alright, and then I've also got some other spices that I'm going to add. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of salt. And like I've told y'all before, I'm kind of an approximate measure person, so put it all in. When you get close to the point of being ready to eat it, then go back and taste test it and make sure that it's up to par for how you want it to taste. And I'm just grinding in a little black pepper. And I'm going to put in I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm just going to sprinkle that in. I'm going to do a teaspoon of onion powder. And I'm going to do like a big heaping teaspoon of smoked paprika. This just adds a really good smoky flavor to the chili I really like. And then I'm going to put in 1/4 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper for a little bit of kick. And that's one of those things, I mean, you can adjust any of this to your liking, however you want it to be. You can add more, less, none at all if it's something you don't like. So I'm just going to mix all of this together. And I'm going to fill up one of my tomato cans of water, and I'm going to put that in. I'll do somewhere between 1 and 2 cans of water, and that depends on your preference too, just how juicy you like your chili. So anyway, I'll do that, and then I'm going to get all this cleaned up, and I'll come back and show y'all how to make the jalapeno cheddar cornbread that goes with this. So y'all stick with me. I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, we are ready to start on our cheddar jalapeno cornbread. I have already gone ahead and mixed up the cornbread base here. I used 2 boxes of Jiffy cornbread mix, and you just want to mix it according to the package directions. For 2 boxes of this, that was 2 eggs and 2/3 of a cup of milk. So that's the point that I've got this at now, and I'm going to add in the goodies. I have about 3/4 of a cup of frozen corn kernels that I just warmed up in the microwave. You just don't want to put these in frozen because it can affect the baking of the cornbread. I've also got about 2 tablespoons of minced pickled jalapeno slices that you get out of the jar. It looks like this. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I'll post pictures on my blog so you can see it all really well. So I've got that, and then I've got a cup of grated cheddar cheese here. So we're just going to go ahead and add all of this stuff in. And I'm just going to give it all a stir. This is one of those recipes that it's like, it is so completely simple, but people go crazy over it. I mean, it's like, it's cornbread. Like, it's not a big deal, you know. But people love this recipe. It goes great with the chili like we're doing today. It's great with taco soup. It's really good like with beans that you've cooked over the top. It's great on its own. It's a winner recipe for sure. So I have gotten this all mixed up here. You just want to get everything nice and incorporated into the cornbread. And I have got my pan that I've already greased with non-stick cooking spray, and I'm going to pour this in. This is like an 8 by 11 size pan. You could probably do this like in a 9 by 9 or your cast iron skillet. I normally do cornbread in the cast iron skillet, but with this having cheese in it, that's just never gone very well for me with cheese and cast iron mixed together. So I wouldn't recommend it with the cheese, but if you cut the cheese out or just your regular cornbread recipe, you can do that. I just get my cast iron skillet super hot on the stovetop and then add in a couple of slices of butter because you want it really generously greased in there. And then pour your cornbread mix into the cast iron skillet on the stovetop and let it cook on there for about 2 minutes or so, and it gives it a super good crispy crust on the bottom. And that's how we usually do it, and I really like it that way, but just not with the cheese today. So anyway, I am going to toss this into the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes until the edges are starting to get golden, and when you touch the center, you want it to be kind of firm and make sure that it's set. So anyway, I'm going to toss this in the oven, and then I'll bring y'all back. Can you hear my baby? He's making all kinds of noise. I will bring y'all back and I will show you the finished cornbread and the finished chili and when everything's all done. Okay? I'll see y'all in a little bit. Can y'all see this? This is my tiny little film crew that I have today. This is what all that extra little racket was that you could hear. Say thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Alright y'all, the cornbread is out of the oven and the chili is finished cooking. This has been on high for about 5.5 hours now, and it's perfect. I just went back and tested it, and I did adjust some of the spices. I went ahead and added another package of chili seasoning and about another half a package of taco seasoning, and I bumped up the salt. I put in probably a total of about 1.5 teaspoons of salt, so I added another half teaspoon just now, and it tastes really good. The stew meat is really nice and tender, and it smells amazing in this house. As y'all can see, the cornbread, I told you it was good, right? I couldn't stay out of it. So anyway, I am going to put a piece of cornbread in a bowl and ladle the chili over it, and that's how we'll have it here. So anyway, y'all make sure that you like and subscribe my video below because you want to get the updates so that you can see next week's recipe. We're going to do my mom's recipe for her fresh apple cake, and it's so good. It's perfect for fall. It's a great recipe to have in your box. So I'm going to give y'all a close-up of the chili and the cornbread. There's the cornbread, and here's the chili.